Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.
All right, this is episode 11 of 15 Minutes of Genius. This is our special Halloween edition, right? So we're all getting excited for Halloween, and thank you for joining us. Going to roll into our guest right away, but before I do, want to make a huge plug for Mark Nicholas, Manhattan Beach Studios. This is our little humble abode here. This is it. The man right over here. Mark Nicholas, Mark N at manhattanbeachstudios.net for all your editing, video desires, photography, whatever you need, he's got in store for you, my friends. All right, so my guest for this week is David Greenfeld. He's the co-founder and CEO of DreamPOPS. Here's a little intro about him. An investment banker fueled by late-night ice cream binges, David Greenfeld set out to create his own plant-based ice cream after noticing a lack of real ingredient-driven options in the vegan section of the frozen aisle. With David Cohen in the tribe, the Jewish tribe, in August 2016, he launched DreamPOPS, a plant-based, dairy-free superfood pop in flavors like vanilla, matcha, mango rosemary, and chocolate with lion's mane mushrooms. DreamPOPS are now in more than 1,300 stores, including Whole Foods in 3 regions, Bristol Farms, Lassen's, Erewhon, Jimbo's, Lazy Acres, Mother's Market, Ferry Market, Cinderella, I'm not going to pronounce it right. Harmon's, Nugget Market, Metro Canada, Harris Teeter, D'Agostino's, Gristades. It's really testing my pronunciation skills. King's, Balducci's, Mom's, Westside Market, Molly Stone's, Down to Earth, Earth Fair, and many, many more. David, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you, Alex? Thanks for having me.
Doing really well. You came also prepared for our Halloween edition. Thank you for doing that, sir.
Of course. No problem. Excited to be here. Happy Halloween.
Right on. Okay, so let's get right into it here. Investment banking. You started there, obviously. I mean, that's a valuable skill set to have. You started there. Tell us about your story there and then how you actually eventually transitioned into CPG.
Yeah, I would say out of college was really pumped about moving into the investment banking world, eager to understand how to capitalize businesses, was focused particularly on mergers and acquisitions. Fascinating, learned a ton doing that. My specific focus initially was on media and technology companies and then moved into consumer retail. But the long run, I just kept thinking, whatever you do professionally, that's what you're spending the most of your time doing in your life. And you need to be passionate and absolutely love what you do. And for me, that was food and beverage. And that was sparked by an internship I had with a guy named Jesse Itzler, back in college. Was able to watch 100 Mile Group and their team build healthier, better for you CPG brands, leveraging social media and technology. Fell in love with what he was doing and what they were doing. And I personally, am a big health nut and really focused on cleaner and healthier food and beverage brands, and knew that in some way, shape, or form, I would find a way into the food and beverage industry. And naturally, that was through one of my favorite things, which was ice cream.
I love it. And ice cream is one of those things, like you mentioned, like it's a decadence. It's something that really is so high in demand no matter what season it's in. Even when it's cold, people love having ice cream. And I can tell you that your product is amazing. Really, really quick, I'll mention is that our producer, Mark, who I just mentioned, when I told him that you were coming on, his daughter actually buys your product all the time. She said it's a little pricey. I mean, it's high quality ingredients. And then we asked his daughter, do you know about her, the new product? And she knew about it. So let's get right into your product line, how you really brought this to market, and also you have an innovation that is coming out shortly as well. Let's hear about all that.
Yeah, definitely. So, with regards to our product line right now, we've got our 4-pack pouches and our single serving bags. Those are available at all of the retail locations. And then most recently, as you'll see there with the DreamPOPS 4-pack pouch. And then we did just launch our DreamBITES product, which if you've ever grown up going to the movie theaters and eating your Nestle Dibs products, as you'll see here, they're vegan chocolate coated ice cream bites and bonbons. And all of our products are 100% plant-based, typically around 6 to 9 ingredients. So really focused on taking nostalgic consumer brands that people love and products that people love and reimagining them with cleaner ingredient stacks. Back to price point, we initially started off direct to consumer with some higher pricing, but as we scale up and are able to, provide products more viably throughout the country, you're going to continue to see our SRPs coming down. So $4.99 for a 4-pack pouch, also around $4.99 for those slim cup pints. And it's a product that we want to put in every American household. So being accessible in terms of price point is very important to us.
What I love about your product, David, is like it's a product where you have one of them, right? It comes with 4, right? The 4-pack. You have one of them, and you're basically really satiated from it, right? It's not like you can blow through all 4 of them in like one sitting. And so, like, versus there's other products where you buy it for $5 and then you pound it down or eat it and you scarf it and it's gone, right? And $5 is gone just like that. So, I mean, it took me about 3 days to get through the DreamPOPS when I got it from Whole Foods because they're decadent and they're satiating. So that's actually a good quality where people get their money's worth. So, what is the expansion plans with DreamPOPS? Right now, you're primarily in natural. Tell us, just especially for entrepreneurs that are watching, right, where they get something out of your story and how you brought this to market. How do you cross that chasm from the natural channel to conventional? Are you confident that this could do well in a Kroger or Safeway in the future? How are you really positioning your company to scale it and grow it to the next level?
Yeah, I think this really comes down to being a data story and understanding your comps. Who are you up against within your respective category? For us, and I'll emphasize it again, we want to be able to compete with the Ben and Jerry's, the Magnums, the Halo Tops, the Cool Houses. This is a product that we want to be in 10, 20, some odd thousand locations all around the country. And in no way, shape, or form are we trying to outprice any customer. We want this to be a product that's just as accessible. So yes, we're natural, and I would really recommend to founders as they're building their businesses, natural is always a great launch pad. It's a great place to learn, to understand your customer before going into conventional and mass. Because the second you go into conventional and mass, you're typically paying for slotting. You have to go really aggressive on promos, pricing, and it's a less forgiving landscape. And so we're about to jump, in 2021 and beyond is when we're really making our transition to the mainstream through those conventional mass channels very selectively. And we're going to watch it closely. We're going to support those channels and make sure that we have a successful outcome with all those retail partners. Another thing is just growing responsibly. We're not spraying and praying. We're picking the right retail partners that believe in us and growing with them.
That is words of genius right there. Could have not said any better myself, where there's a lot of entrepreneurs that make that mistake where they try to go national too soon with a product that is not proven in natural. You want to prove it out, learn from your mistakes, learn what's working, learn what's not working, and take what really is doing well and then start expanding that aggressively into conventional. And it sounds like you're on the kind of the edge of actually going to conventional because you figured out what is working in natural, which is very important, and it's working extremely well. I go to my local Whole Foods. The most frustrating part is like usually 1 or 2 of those flavors are sold out, either the chocolate or the matcha. The vanilla sometimes sold out. And I get on the dairy managers or the ice cream managers case at Whole Foods saying, keep this thing freaking stocked, man. Come on. So anyway, I'm doing some merchandising for you in my own way, as much as I can do.
I appreciate that, Alex. I think just to touch on one thing you just mentioned, we went to market with 5 SKUs. You see 2 or 3 top performers, and then you see 1 or 2 that they do good, or maybe they're not as strong, and you use that data to then transition it into conventional. And we're also, using the feedback from our customers to think, okay, maybe 1 or 2 of these flavors aren't great for the conventional channel where they won't get the love, and maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 new flavors we can test in natural and maybe then push into conventional once the data speaks for itself.
Exactly. I think analyzing data is key. There's always like the gut instinct and like intuition, but at the end of the day, what buyers care about, for entrepreneurs watching that are presenting their products to buyers, there's the emotional side, there's the romance of the product. They got to love the product, right? And the branding. But they're going to be looking at data at the end of the day, and this has to perform across different channels. And I think, David, the smart thing that you have done is you're analyzing your top SKUs. So when you launch into the bigger chains, you're also de-risking, right? You're not risking discontinuations or paying all those fees and slotting fees and then losing the account. So I think it's a really smart approach. What do you think? Just one other question I have is, how about C-stores? Because, when growing up, before I really knew what I was doing, right, I would go to a 7-Eleven and buy a strawberry shortcake popsicle or something. Or, C-stores are very popular for getting that impulse, like sugar fix buy, right, and getting something that tastes really good at midnight or whatever. So are you planning to eventually expand into C-stores and 7-Elevens, and what's your expansion plan there?
Yeah, so I will give a shout out to one of our first customers, Pink Dot. Saul means the world. They were awesome and very supportive, and
West
we
Hollywood,
sell
right?
a lot.
West
West
Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. Great case study for us. We've had some amazing conversations with the folks at 7-Eleven. It's an avenue we will explore. We have some pretty cool freezers that are on market right now, about 20 of them live, that we'd love to roll through C-store as well. I think it just comes down to timing, finding the right, whether that's the Pilot Flying J's of the world, who are awesome, 7-Eleven. I think gas stations are a really interesting point of sale opportunity for us. And there's no question you'll see us in there. It's just a matter of timing, understanding the distribution, and making sure that you're not just irresponsibly, aggressively launching thousands of gas stations or C-stores and don't have the support.
Right. You'll do that 3 years from now. Go to every gas station, but not right now.
Correct.
I could literally, in all seriousness, I could see this. It's so mainstream friendly. Like, it tastes good. It's low sugar. Has great benefits on trend. I could see this in pretty much any 7-Eleven in the country. So, and I know you guys will get there. We have about a minute left here. This has just flown by, man. All these just great conversations and great advice and feedback for any entrepreneurs watching. What is, I guess, one last thing that you would leave with our viewers, right? We have a couple thousand views usually or more of this show per show. What would you want to share just in a nutshell about your experience as an entrepreneur in launching a brand like this and maybe avoiding pitfalls? So what would be kind of your Spitfire kind of, hey, this is my advice in a minute?
Biggest takeaway is really patience. I think oftentimes founders, they see the headlines, they're excited about all the capital that's flowing into the business and the venture excitement, the private equity excitement, even the public markets with SPACs and IPOs. Biggest thing here is, longevity, hanging in there, persisting, taking the no's and realizing that a no doesn't mean no, it means just not right now. And having the tenacity to be like, okay, this isn't just a business. This is something I'm ready to commit to every single day, 7 days a week. You need to live, breathe, dream, sleep, everything, your product, love it. And it really becomes, and even look at yourself now, it becomes an extension of you. And if you're ready to give 110% and show up every day and it's something you're passionate about, then I highly recommend jumping in. But if you're trying just to monetize, certain trends in the marketplace or make a quick buck, then I highly recommend that you do not move into the space.
Exactly. This industry requires from both of us, right? We're both, co-founder, founder. We do a lot of the sales, right? We sell, we share the story with buyers. A tremendous amount of patience. I talked to JR, Vibe Organic, in a previous episode about how to approach buyers and how to have patience and how to have the right timing to really be successful and get the product in. It's not an overnight success. It's usually a 5 to 10 year overnight success in this business. But when you get to that end, the pot of gold, it's really, really sweet. So, David, this has been awesome. Thank you again for joining us. And obviously, you came out full drove for this Halloween special. So thank you for pulling up some kick-ass sunglasses and a jersey. And, man, really impressed by all your progress, dude. So thank you for joining us on 15 Minutes of Genius.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate you having me. Big fan of yours and the Genius team. Congrats on all the growth. And I'm excited to see you guys all over the country.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right, so that is episode 11 of 15 Minutes of Genius, a special Halloween edition. I guess I got the hair on. This could be my real hair, right? You know, this is a stressful job, right? Maybe my hair turned green, gray. All right, so I'm thinking Greenfeld, his last name. All right, so thank you again for joining us. We are out. Again, one big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. For all your editing desires, right down there is the website. Amazing stuff. And again, thank you for joining us, episode 11. And one last thing, stay genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.